Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita Chapter 5. We will be studying section 4, 5, 6 and we will be finishing the 5th chapter in this video. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Raghava Swaminiti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So let's start with this second half of the 5th chapter. So, in the previous sections we saw that Krishna emphasizes that work in devotion is far superior than mere renunciation. And by working for the Supreme, by controlling his senses, by controlling his mind, one gains ultimate peace. So here, Krishna continues this theme. Tad buddhayas tad atmanas tan nishtas tad parayanaha gachanti apunar avrattim jnana nirudha kalmashaha. When one's intelligence, mind, faith and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. So Krishna is saying, if you remember in the earlier chapters, Krishna was saying that lust sits in the mind and intelligence and the senses. So Krishna is saying here that the same intelligence and mind, faith and refuge are fixed in the Supreme. When the mind is purified, when the intelligence is purified and it focuses on Krishna, one becomes fully cleansed of all misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. So, when the mind is fixed on Krishna, then everything lights up like sunlight in day. So, everything is visible, everything is very clear to us. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmani Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. The humble sages. So the first thing is humble. So one who has spiritual knowledge, he is humble. They see with equal vision. So they see everybody as a spirit soul, every living entity in the body of a cow, cat, dog, dog eater, elephant. They are all spirit souls now in different bodies. So he sees that they are in the process of evolution. They are all in these different bodies and slowly they will come to the human platform. So, the yogi or the devotee sees beyond a time. At this particular time, they have this body, but actually they are all spirit souls. They are all parts and parcels of Krishna, and they are all servants of Krishna and are thus worshipable. So he respects everybody and hence he is humble. Ihavatayirjita sargo yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman and thus they are already situated in Brahman. So when one sees like this, when one sees everything as belonging to Krishna, every living entity is a spirit soul, and sees that this greater body, this earth, for example, this entire earth is Bhudevi, is the wife of Krishna, and she belongs to Krishna. So everything, all the universe, everything belongs to Krishna. His mind sees everything equally in this world. They are flawless like the Brahman. So Brahman is flawless, Krishna is flawless. So they achieve a state beyond birth and death. So one should develop this vision by the purification of mind and intelligence through spiritual knowledge. Na prahrasyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya chapriyam sthira buddhir asammudho brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. So devotee knows that this nature of this material world is flickering. Sometimes we become happy, sometimes we become sad, just like days and nights. Nothing is permanent. Everything comes and goes. So he focuses on the permanent, that is the spirit soul. And such a person is unbewildered, because he knows what is the truth, and he focuses on the science of God. So one who is focused on God, such a person is situated in transcendence, on the way to liberation, rather already liberated. Bahya sparsheshva asaktatma vindati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. He is always in trance, enjoying pleasure within. Means he is always focused on the super soul, the form of Krishna within. So he understands Krishna is within. Krishna is everywhere, but Krishna is also within him. So he enjoys unlimited happiness. There is nothing unlimited in this world except Krishna, who is again transcendental to this world. Although he is everywhere in this material world, he does not belong to material nature. He is transcendental to material nature. So unlimited happiness can only be had by his mercy, for he concentrates on the Supreme. So by worshipping Krishna, one actually gets unlimited pleasure. So first one has to be cleansed of all sinful activities. One's mind has to be focused on Krishna. So that is why one has to do some kind of sacrifice. Purify himself. And after purification, one has to approach a spiritual master, learn from him, purify himself, and then work for Krishna. In this way, he will achieve Krishna and then unlimited happiness. यही संस्पर्श जा भोगा दुख योनय एवते आदि अंतवंत कौंतेय नतेषु रमते बुधा. An unintelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. So here we see a picture, 4 pictures there. So some lady is exposing herself in some magazine, and we can see the next birth, that lady, the half of it, she becomes a tree. Because those who want to stay naked, nature blesses them with a body by which they can stay naked like a tree. Those who eat meat without any control, so they get a body of an animal like a tiger, so that he can eat more and more meat. In the third picture on the left side, we can see somebody who just takes pleasure in sleeping for long hours. Such a person becomes like a polar bear. And finally, one who has no discrimination in eating food, he becomes like a pig. So, an intelligent person does not try to enjoy this material world because he knows there is karma involved in every activity. And they are in contact because of the contact of the material senses. We enjoy or suffer. So an intelligent person withdraws his senses, rather engages his senses only for the sake of Krishna consciousness. Shaknoti haiva yah sodum praksharira vimokshanaad kama krododbhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. So, before giving up his present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the senses and check the forces of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. Death is inevitable. It will come in the due course of time. But till then, if we are able to stay controlled, there is a lot of desires that come. Go to party, go to disco, enjoy your senses, enjoy the tongue, drink, use your, senses in sense enjoyment. So every sense there is an urge to enjoy. So if we are able to tolerate this till we reach the point of death, at that point of time one will really be able to welcome death with a peaceful mind. He is able to enter, he is able to think about Krishna, and then he will definitely reach the topmost abode. यो अंतः सुखोंतर आरामस तथांतर ज्योतिरेव यह स योगी ब्रह्म निर्वाणम ब्रह्म भूतोदि गच्छति. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the mystic, perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately he attains the Supreme. So, one whose happiness is not in material pleasures, but his happiness is in the satisfaction of Krishna. He is not inactive, he is active. He is a spiritualist. His happiness is within, but he is active. It's not that within means he is inactive. No, he is active. And he rejoices within. And whose aim is inward to understand Krishna is actually a perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately he attains the Supreme. One who is active in devotional service, he attains the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. Labante Brahma Nirvanam Rachayah Kshina Kalmashaha Chinna Dvaidha Yatatmanaha Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living entities, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. So their minds are engaged in the Supreme within, and they are busy working. So Krishna is pushing out all inaction. Krishna is saying, active, active, become active. Active within, active within, active within. Use your mind and your intelligence to focus within on the spirit soul, yet remain active outside to serve for the welfare of others in Krishna consciousness. Those who are free from all sins achieve liberation in the Supreme. Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yata Chetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. Those who are free from anger and all desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. So those who are free from anger, first thing, means they are free from lust, because lust If there is lust, then there is anger. So those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined and constantly endeavoring for perfection. It is not that 8 hours a day I will remain Krishna conscious, then I will forget everything. No. For a few hours a day I will watch TV. No. A self-realized person is constantly focused on Krishna, and they are assured of liberation in the very near future. It can happen any moment. It can snap at any moment. Material existence can cease at any moment, provided we are sincerely endeavoring. Hare Krishna. Sparshan kritva bahir bahyams chakshus chaivantare bhruvo pranapano samo kritva nasabhyantara charino yatendriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayanaha vigatecha bhaya krodho yah sada mukta eva saha. So here Krishna is giving a clue into the next chapter, that is the Ashtanga Yoga process, where one cuts off all external sense objects and keeps the eyes concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses and intelligence, and becoming free from desire, fear and anger. So one is always in this state is certainly liberated. So here, in the process of Ashtanga Yoga, Krishna is explaining how to keep the mind in a state of equilibrium. Shutting out all external senses means one who reduces eating, sleeping, and sitting in a steady position. He is focusing on the middle of the eyebrows, that is the Ajna Chakra, where the letter Om is situated. It's a very powerful energy point. And suspending the inward and outward breath within the nostrils. So this is called as Kumbhaka, holding the breath. It is said breath and the thoughts are related. When you are angry, your breathing is very fast, and when you are peaceful, your breathing is slow. So, suspending the breath helps us control the thought process, senses and intelligence. So the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear and anger. One who is in this state is certainly liberated. This is a clue into the next chapter, where Krishna will explain this process of Ashtanga Yoga in detail. Finally, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhradam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam santirachyati. So how do you understand who is Krishna? Controlling all your mind, your senses, you should understand that Krishna is Bhoktara. That Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. Yajna, tapasya, of everything, he is the beneficiary. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, he is the supreme lord of all universes. Suhradam Sarvabhutanam, he is the Suhrada. Rada means heart, and Suhrada, who is the very closest to the heart of every living entity. Jnatva Mam Shanti Rachyati. Understanding this, a person attains ultimate peace. So real peace and happiness means understanding Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer. So here are two pictures here, where we see Krishna as super soul. There is the soul. There are two circles. In one circle, there is the soul in the body, and in another circle, there is the Supreme Lord. So in this tree of this body, there are two souls. One, the individual soul, and then the other, the super soul. So Krishna is situated in this body along with the spirit soul. The spirit soul is giving life to this body, and Krishna is situated along with this spirit soul in our body, and we are trying to enjoy this body, and Krishna is a witness. But if we understand Krishna is the enjoyer and he is renting out this body to us and seeing and is watching what karma we are doing, and he is the one who decides what is the next body that we will get. So that is real Krishna consciousness. So understanding such a person, one achieves complete peace. So understanding that Krishna is the beneficiary who is present in every atom, in every fruit, every seed, and doing everything to satisfy him for his pleasure, such a soul attains the topmost happiness. Jnatva mam shantirache. He attains peace. Understanding that Krishna is the supreme benefactor of all demigods. So all the devatas, they all worship him. So if all living entities surrender unto him, worship him, by chanting his holy names, by worshipping his Sri Murti, such a person attains supreme perfection. Hare Krishna.